Do we go back to the well, look for a bounce back, or do we just ride it Webb Simpson at the Webb Simpson Open? We got all that, including course breakdown, strategy, and more on this week's Four Thoughts PGA podcast. What up, everybody? It's your boy DFS Up North, aka Josh Thomas, here with another DFS Army PGA pod, talking about the Wyndham Championship, the Webb Simpson Open. If you guys don't know, Webb Simpson's daughter is named Wyndham. This is where he got his first win, and has absolutely crushed here every year. Is he washed now, though? Not really sure about that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. But we got the Wyndham Championship this week. This is the last event before the FedEx Cup playoffs get going here. And it's an interesting event. Next year, it's going to be even more interesting. There's going to be a lot more FedEx Cup points on the line. We got the Wyndham Top 10 next year with just like massive money. All that came out yesterday. But it's a fun event. It's a bit of a birdie fest. But we've seen different guys win here. Kevin Kisner won here last year, kind of breaking a drought that he had for a while. So it's a fun event. We play at Sedgefield Country Club. We're in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's going to be hotter than heck. But it's a good opportunity to win some money. And talking about winning some money, my boy Duster didn't quite get through into the Fantasy World Golf Championships to get to the live final next week, but made up some money by crushing in Showdown. It's what we do at DFS Army. Our 4 days been good, but our Showdown has been outstanding lately. 6K win here. So if you want to become a DFS Army VIP, there's no better time than now. Use that code Up North, gets you 10% off for life. We got football starting. We got preseason football starting, which is just a money maker. And we got a couple of weeks of important golf here before we start before we get the fall swing going. And then, that takes you all the way into NFL regular season. We're ready to roll. So come give us a try. Get that VIP. You get everything, baseball, golf, football, basketball. We were doing summer league last week. So it's a lot of fun here. We got the Sedgefield Country Club. We're in Greensboro, North Carolina, for the Wyndham Championship this week. It is the last regular season event of the year. It's an interesting course. It's pretty short, 71-31, par 35, 35, 70. But what's interesting about this course is you look at it and you go, okay, this is short. But there's a big premium placed on accuracy off the tee here. You got to find yourself in a good spot, not in the trees, right? Not in the water, which we have 6 holes with water in play, not in the sand bunkers. You just got to put yourself in good positions all over the place here. So when I say we got to be accurate off the tee, I think everybody's mind tends to go towards driving accuracy. And that's just not necessarily the case because guys are going to club down here. They are going to hit irons off the tee. They are going to hit. I mean, you can get a guy like, I don't know. I mean, Adam Scott's super accurate off the tee, but maybe somebody like who's in the top there that's maybe a little bit inaccurate. Well, I mean, even like a Will Zalatoris, he's fairly accurate off the tee, but he's going to not hit a ton of drivers around here, I would imagine. And that's why we see sort of shorter guys do well here because they are accurate with their driver off the tee, and can kind of maybe get it out there a little bit further. So, gotta find fairways. I don't think this is not necessarily a bomb and gouge like we saw last week. So there's a lot more. You got to think your way around this course to make birdies. Average green size, 6,000 square feet, a little bit bigger than what we've seen the last couple of weeks. But they're very, very slopey Bermuda greens. And you have to putt well. We've seen guys, you think about a Webb Simpson here. He's putted well every single year that he's played here. It's a Don Ross, which we saw last week. So we're going to see a lot of turtleback greens, a lot of runoffs. You got to be good around the greens. Championship Bermuda grass, tee to green everywhere. Some comp courses, TPC Sawgrass, Avenel Farms, TPC River Highlands, which has been kind of a comp course the last couple of weeks. I think that's maybe the best comp course here. -2 cut line, -20 winning score. We said, minus 1.2 average. I think it's actually 1.3. I think my math might be a little bit off here, but it's one of the top 10 easiest courses on tour that they play. Because I said, hey, we've got to be accurate off the tee. What ends up happening is that you'd think that means at a short course with only 7,100 yards, that we would be seeing a lot of, kind of flip wedges in. But we actually see a massive increase in shots or approach shots from over 150 yards and a big decrease in those flip wedges under 100 yards. So, we can really key on that long approach. We've seen tee to green be important here. Like last year when Kiz won, he was outstanding tee to green all week and putted well. I mean, it's Kiz, right? But putting has been really important in prior years, and I think it's going to be again this year. So it's such a wonky stat, but it's something that I'm definitely taking into my models this week. And when I'm looking at guys, I don't want to play necessarily anybody that's a really bad putter. And the first name that comes to mind for me is a guy like Will Zalatoris, right? We saw it last week where, it said, hey, this is going to turn into a little bit of a putting contest, and I just don't think that he can contend there. And he didn't. You got to find fairways, club down, like I said, and then there's 8 par 4s between 400 and 450 yards. So we can actually use that stat. That's not something that I necessarily key on all the time in terms of, hey, how is a guy, on this length of par 4, but it is definitely something that we can look at this week and see, hey, how do guys score on this course, and with those 8 par 4s in that range, that's definitely something that we can look at this week. But it's a pretty straightforward test. Like I said, it's tree lined, like you can see in the picture back here. The fairways are not super wide, but they're not super narrow. It's honestly a pretty average track. But the greens are going to be very slopey. It's tough to putt on. It's tough to get up and down when you're around the greens. That's another thing that we've seen guys who are successful here have done really, really well scrambling around the greens. So former winners, Kiz last year minus 15. We had that crazy 6-man playoff. Crushed it tee to green all week. And then, you look at these 3 guys, it's kind of random winners here. Jimmy Herman, minus 21. He led the field in driving accuracy and greens and regulation, putted well, and then played really, really well in the final round, shot minus 7. JT Postone led the field tee to green, greens regulation. So putting yourself in position in the fairway and then on the greens is huge. Poston was, I think, 100% on scrambling that week, which is insane. But we're looking at minus 20. Make birdies. All 3 of these guys not very long off the tee, which is maybe an interesting angle in here. You don't necessarily need to be super long off the tee. Right now, weather doesn't look like anything. But let's talk about my core plays here. I don't have the FanDuel prices in because when I'm recording this, FanDuel hadn't put prices out because they suck. And I hate that site, but hey, there we are. Shane Lowry. And kind of my theme this week, guys, is back to the well. All right. And back to the well and bounce back. Those are my 2 themes this week. But Shane Lowry, back to the well. The guy's been so good tee to green. We've said that that's important, right? Not the world's best putter, which is maybe a little concerning here, but he can get it rolling when he's hot, right? He can make a ton of birdies. But Shane Lowry is my favorite guy over 10,000. There's 6 guys priced up there this week. I think that he might come in towards the bottom 3 of the ownership there. Not going to be the most popular, I don't think, by any means, but like I said, back to the well this week. Like, there's no reason to not play Shane Lowry here. He's got decent history, and I'm all in on Lowry again this week. And then back to the well again, Adam Scott, right? You take out his 3rd round last week, he's in really good shape. Fell apart on the back 9. Putter went ice cold for 9 holes, shot +6. That's kind of what you get with Adam Scott, but at 9,200. He's going to hit value. He hit value last week. So I really like Scott here. He's been a tee to green monster, was putted poorly, right? Like he had a tough 9, but then came back out and shot -7 on Sunday. So his game's in really good shape. I think he's trending towards a win here. And at 9,200, I can't not have a ton of him this week. Bounce back Denny McCarthy. This last week was the first week that he lost strokes putting since the Sony Open in January. Good history here, 15th and 9th the last 2 years, I believe. And like I said, he burned everybody last week at 80 or at his price tag. I think it's exactly the same. Burned everyone, and I'm jumping right back on the ship. Bounce back. He's coming back. Like, this is a great course setup for him. Being back on Bermuda grass is huge. Like, I let everybody else fade him. And I think that's something that we do too often in DFS golf, is that a guy has a tough week, we don't go right back to him the next week. We think that, oh man, this guy he's had 6 weeks in a row where he's just been outstanding. We play a ton of them. He misses the cut and everybody says, whoa, I'm done. Guys don't just get shitty in 1 week. He had a bad week. I'm definitely on the Denny McCarthy train here, especially at a course with these big slopey greens. I think that he's got a really good chance to do well. And then Aaron Rai. So what we're getting here on Rai is a guy who in the US this year has been outstanding. Like, remember that run where he was a kind of a core play for me back to the well, right? Has been a core play for me for a couple of weeks. He went over to play in the Scottish Open and the Open Championship. He struggled at the Scottish Open, missed the cut, was a late addition to the Open Championship, got in Wednesday night. So I don't know what his preparation was like, but then missed the cut again. That's not the type of golf that we're playing here. And really, it's not the type of golf that suits him necessarily. Rai is a guy who can play on the PGA Tour. He is way too cheap. I think that he's 7,200 on DK. He's 8,500 on FanDuel, which I believe is what I thought I saw this morning. I made this before FanDuel pricing came out, but he just too cheap. I mean, he should be $8,000 in this field on DraftKings, no question, $8,000. So for me, it's just a value play. He makes so much sense here at 7,200. I am all over Rai. He's so good tee to green, hits fairways, hits greens. He puts himself in position to score. No, forgot there's no weather this week. So that's where I'm going with my core this week. All right. The theme, like I said, is bounce back to the well. We are just playing the dudes, right? Play the dudes that have been successful for us all year. I think Sedgefield's a fun course. We're going to see a lot of birdies. It's going to be, we get the FedEx Cup drama, who's in, who's out. I don't think that we're going to see anybody really struggle. We might see somebody jump in, but I don't think you're going to see Ricky. If Ricky misses the cut, he's going to be right on the edge. But it's going to be a fun week. I'm excited about it. Again, if you want to get in on DFS Army, you can use that code UpNorth. Gets you 10% off for life. You can get a month's worth. You can get access to all my cheat sheet. I'm working on that right now. I just went through my below 7K plays. There's a couple of guys down there that I really like. A couple of guys that are bounce back plays for me down there that I really like this week that I think are going to be great for GPPs. So if you want access to that, you want access to our optimizer, which we get up for showdowns and a 4-day and all that. It's super you can do a ton of stuff on there that maybe a lot of other optimizers you can't. So I love, I don't know what I would do without the DFS Army Domination Station. So hey, Up North gets 10% off. Come join us, get access to our Discord, ask me some questions, chop it up with everybody in there, learn how Duster's winning 6K on showdowns, and come join us. All right. Stick around for NFL because that's where the big time money is. All right. Cheers, guys. Have a great week, and we will see you soon.